This podcast contains advice that should never be followed, spoilers you'll wish you hadn't heard, and language you wouldn't teach to children.
When life gets you down, your car just won't start. Agony art. It's time for agony art. If you've reached a dead end, you're not sure what to do. Agony art. Well, agony art is for you. At times life is grand, you've got the world in your hands. Then somehow you drop that ball. Instead of watching it fall, give agony art a call. Welcome to Agony Art, the Agony Art podcast in which we try to solve your problems using the great art of our age. And when we inevitably fail to solve those problems, at least you're left with a fun listening, reading and watching list that you can enjoy in your spare time. I'm Liam, the chief music man here at Agony Art, and I'm joined today, as always, by Aaron, our burrowing bookworm, and Carl, our cinematic fanatic.
Oh, very nice.
Oh, that's pretty good.
I was impressed by Liam's ad-libbing there.
It was pretty good. It was a lot slower than usual because he's ad-libbing and trying to remember.
For the listeners, we normally use a script. Oh, am I revealing too much?
You are. The listeners don't want scripts. This is what I've been trying to tell you guys.
You've doxed us.
They want natural bants.
We should have saved that for the behind-the-scenes documentary, shouldn't we? Yeah. Big reveal. We'll use scripts. But today Liam didn't.
I ad-libbed, by which I mean I did the script from memory. Right, I've been thinking, and we've been doing this a while now. Over the years, how many years has it been?
It's not even our 1 year anniversary yet. We're on series 2.
Yeah. How many series have we done? Oh, 1.
Over the months, I've picked up some pro tips from fellow podcasters who I won't name because they'd like to remain anonymous.
Remain anonymous.
They would like to. They'd like to remain anonymous.
Hippopotamus.
They don't want to be associated with us in any way. And one of them, I think we should start doing before each show, and it's about loosening up those lips and really getting into the groove. You can tell I need to do it because I couldn't even say remain anonymous. Yeah. So what it is, it's a word association game.
Okay.
And it not only does it loosen up.
When you say a word association game, do you mean the word association game?
The only one that there is. Yeah. So as well as loosening up the lips, it also loosens the mind, man. So I'll make a start, and we'll just go round in a circle. Now, mouse.
House.
That's not. You're out.
No.
They live in the house.
You can't challenge.
I can challenge.
It's not a competition.
Choir.
I can't believe we only got 2 words in.
You got to go quick.
All right.
How are we going to loosen up our vocal cords?
You're just confusing me.
Can't even get 3 words in.
But that just rhymes.
That's fine. It's an association.
Is it? All right.
The National Rhyming Association.
Right. Shall I go from house?
Yep.
I was going to say mouse.
I think we did well there.
Yeah, it's loosened up my vocal
I
cords.
feel more stressed, actually.
I feel hotter than I've ever felt.
Right, so now that we're loosened up. So before we begin today, I'd like to start, as always, by just making it crystal clear that we're not actually here to solve any of your problems. We're not qualified in any way to solve any problems at all. So if you really do need help, don't listen to us. But do go to our website where we've provided some links to people who can help you. That's agonyartpodcast.com. So, let's get on with the show. Problem 1 this week. I am never happy just doing what I'm doing. When I'm spending time working, I can't focus because I wish I was spending that time on my hobbies. And when I'm supposed to be enjoying one of my hobbies, I can't focus because I'm thinking about how much work I'm going to have to do next time I go in. In the end, I get nothing done either way. So I'm not giving my hobbies or my work the attention they need. How do other people focus on what they're doing and get the most out of work and play?
You even ad-libbed the problem.
Stop ad-libbing, Liam.
So who can think of a name for our unsatisfied pickle?
Who's never satisfied?
That bloke from Hamilton.
Hamilton.
Aaron Burr.
No, Alexander Hamilton. He's never satisfied.
Alexander Burr.
Let's just call him Alex.
Well, since we've already mentioned Hamilton, maybe I'll go first because there's a little bit of crossover here. But first, the first thing that struck me about this, and I probably shouldn't have mentioned Satisfaction so soon because I
You
think
can't get no.
it triggered the same brainwave in both of you that it did for me, and so it's not going to be a surprise for anyone now.
Oh.
But
Rolling Stones 1-0.
yeah, it sounds like you just can't get no satisfaction. That's what I was going to say. It was going to be really clever. Everyone would have laughed, but no, you've ruined it now.
Or are you talking about the Rolling Stones version, or are you talking about the better version, the version that everyone knows and that probably made the song famous, the Britney Spears version?
Did not know there was a Britney Spears version.
On her, I think it was on her first album, Baby One More Time.
Is it good?
No.
I mean, Mick Jagger's lyrics, they don't really offer much help on how to get satisfaction. He basically just moans about it. Most of the time he's moaning about how he can't get any girls to sleep with him, which is probably a bit weird for nowadays.
And probably untrue. I bet he was getting a lot of girls to sleep with him when he was at his height.
Yeah. How tall is he?
when he's standing up, I bet a lot of girls sleep with him, but when he's
He is
sitting
quite
down,
tall, I think, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. I should have looked it up.
He's got them moves like Jagger as well, so.
He does, but Jagger's moves, they're not really moves you want, are they? Have you seen him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know who Mick Jagger is, yeah.
But I did find one fun fact about this song before we move on, and that's apparently, I'll say apparently, you might think I'm being a little bit sceptical here, I'll let you make your own minds up. Keith Richards reckons he wrote Satisfaction in his sleep.
Load of fucking shit.
He says
Yeah, bollocks.
he had no idea he'd written it, and when he woke up, he realised something had been recorded, and he listened to it, and there was 2 minutes of Satisfaction, followed by 40 minutes of him snoring.
What a load of shit.
And
but it does remind me of Steve Tyler was so fucked up on drugs during a lot of their career, Aerosmith career, by the way, fans, that at one point they were listening to the radio and he said, "This song is fantastic. We should do a cover of this." And the rest of the band were like, "This is us."
Brilliant.
What song was it? I
don't know. I think it was
songs is fantastic.
Can't Get No Satisfaction.
Well, the funny thing about that fact as well is that the location it happened in seems to change every time he tells it. So sometimes it happens in Florida, sometimes it's a hotel in Chelsea, sometimes it's his home in St. John's Wood. So, you know, it seems like they were like, yeah, this would be a good story, but they didn't quite agree on the details.
Yeah.
So.
Sounds like it was in Bullshit Town.
Exactly. So, you know, Rolling Stones won't help. Maybe you won't get any satisfaction. But who's to say that is such a bad thing? Alex, you already know what I'm about to tell you because you lived through it.
Oh, is it Hamilton?
It is Hamilton. I'm talking about Hamilton. I've done Hamilton once, but that was in series 1, so I'm thinking I can do one reference per series and get away with it.
Yeah.
So,
Are we going to have a debate about Greatest Showman being better than Hamilton today?
there's no debate, surely.
There's always a debate.
Never.
Getting back together.
With Hamilton. So in Hamilton, during a winter's ball, Hamilton meets his wife, Eliza, for the first time. And it's
Eliza and Peggy.
No one likes Peggy. And it's love at first sight, if the show's anything to go by. You know, they're married within a month, apparently. 1 week later, they're writing letters. 2 weeks later, he's asking for a hand in marriage. Then they get married.
It's because he's got the skills, though, hasn't he? When he meets her, he's like, "If it takes a war for us to have met, it will have been worth it."
Yeah.
What a lad! She's like,
She was like, "Yeah, sod those thousands and thousands of people dying."
You're right. It's totally worth it.
"Fuck the British," and then "fuck me."
Yeah, so it's a match made in heaven, isn't it? Isn't it?
Uh-oh.
Well, here's the thing. We learn immediately after we learn about that before they met, he first met her sister, Angelica.
And Peggy.
Angelica! And the two have quite a flirty exchange. I'm telling you this like you don't know. You've both seen Hamilton. You probably remember it. In which he says to her, You strike me as a woman who's never been satisfied. Which,
Sarah, I don't know what you mean. You forget yourself.
you're like me. I'm never satisfied. And, he's definitely
A lot of innuendo going
being a
on
bit
there, isn't
cheeky
there?
here, isn't he? And we learn that one of the only reasons he ends up marrying Eliza is because Angelica realises she's expected to marry Rich, and he ain't got any money.
Who's Rich?
Rich Washington, he's George's brother. And throughout the rest of their lives, there continues to be this attraction and love between the two that can never be, and it's all very, ironic and a little bit heartbreaking, but also wrong because he's married to her sister. And at the end of the song, which is called Satisfied, I don't know if I mentioned that, Angelica sings, I know she'll be happy as his bride, and I know he will never be satisfied. I will never be satisfied. And
Is this the one that they wrote letters to each other, and there's like rumours of they had an affair throughout in real life?
in real life, yeah.
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 But I was just about to talk about the inaccuracy of Hamilton.
Okay, go ahead.
That she...
He was satisfied all along.
According to Wikipedia, he was always satisfied.
Oh my God. You totally destroyed my point.
No, that wasn't it. It was... Yeah, it is the Wikipedia page, so I do apologise that I haven't done proper research on this, but I didn't even know you were going to mention this.
This is real
song.
research. This is
But-
why.
This is, to be fair, this is according to my university career, and this was real research. She
thing
says, "I'm a girl in a world in which my only job is to marry Rich." In the song,
Who the fuck
But-
is Rich?
but Philip Schuyler had 14 children, including 2 sons who reached adulthood. So, she wasn't under any pressure really, because he already had sons that were going to carry on his name and legacy and stuff.
Yeah, but Rich was really persistent.
Yeah. And also something like, she was married to John Baker Church 3 years before she met Hamilton in real life. And she was already a mother of 2 of her 8 children with Church. So she wasn't actually like single and ready to mingle like they kind of depict it. But you've got to have a bit of dramatic license in these things because it adds to the
Can you imagine how dry it would be if it was like
completely historically accurate.
Yeah. Like even
and in real time. You have to watch it over the course of about 40 years.
there's even Lincoln, the film, is like has a bit of play with the drama, but it's very wordy.
It's quite dry, that film.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
I fucking love it.
Yeah,
Like,
it was very good.
I
But I
watched it
don't
about
think
5 times.
I don't think my wife would enjoy it. It's a bit too dry for her.
No, my wife fell asleep. But yeah, you can't.
So anyway, whether it's true or not, this idea of Hamilton never being satisfied becomes a core theme of the show. And while it might seem that that's a bad thing, it actually drives him to do great things. He goes from being an orphan to being George Washington's right-hand man, to leading armies in the War for Independence, to founding and championing some of the oldest institutions of America that are still around today, like
Walmart,
Sure.
Wendy's, Dunkin' Donuts.
I was going to say the bank.
No.
What bank?
Well, all the banks. The
IHOP.
financial system.
Oh, you mean what Alexander Hamilton did?
Yeah,
Yeah, he did loads of shit, didn't he?
Weren't you paying attention?
He spoke really fast, to be fair.
Sorry.
He built Disneyland,
Wow.
Paris.
And I think this is the positive lesson to take. You too can build Disneyland Paris. No,
You too.
you too. We'll get onto them later. So, and I think, this is a positive lesson to take from Hamilton. Dissatisfaction, it's not necessarily a problem. It could be an opportunity. And if you can understand what it is about your life that leaves you dissatisfied and work to change it, then you too might one day get your face on a $10 bill.
Oh, nice. Did you think the 20-minute time limit was just for you?
And also, do you think that anyone really can make enough impacts to get their face on paper money anymore? Because
I think
paper money's on its way out,
it
really.
would probably take
Cash.
Yeah.
a huge event of some sort, like
Well, who we got recently? We got Pankhurst, Churchill, Turing. These are on the latest notes, aren't they? And they're pretty. They did a lot of things, didn't they? Giants of history.
We'll work on it.
Yeah.
Do you reckon we could get, like, we could share one? Us three.
Yeah,
Just-
fucking, yeah.
What, because of Agony art?
yeah.
No.
Services to podcasting.
Yeah, we could get MBEs. Should we search for our aim? MBEs. Or
MBEs.
MBEs. I don't know what the difference is.
MBEs before the end of 2022.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
We're probably going to have to stop the podcast.
Do something more noble.
But that was my take anyway. So
I think it's interesting that you mentioned satisfaction, Liam. That's kind of what I approach this problem thinking about as well. And what I thought when I was looking at the problem was that this person has got so many hobbies, obviously, like Liam. Yeah.
what can I say?
And with...
Hobbies.
Carl's got a fur ball. Because Alex has got so many hobbies, like Liam has, and he's got his job as well. I think you might be paralysed by choice, Alex, over what to do next. Whenever you choose something, you just think, why didn't I do that instead? And
Analysis paralysis.
Yeah?
That's a buzz phrase in business, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah.
And I watched a TED Talk exactly about that, Liam.
Did
He
you
didn't
actually?
call it analysis paralysis. It's the paradox of choice. And just on a side thing, do either of you watch TED Talks much on YouTube?
I've watched one or two, but not regularly.
Oh, I fall down a little TED Talk hole sometimes. Like, I watch one that I think, oh, that looks interesting. And then, because it's fucking YouTube, it wants you to stay there for hours. It suggests another one to you, and I'll go, yeah, I'll watch that one as well. Why not?
4 days have passed.
My beard's grown. I'm covered in piss and shit. Watching a TED Talk about how to maintain your own personal hygiene, going, yeah, I'll try that after this.
just one more.
I'll watch one more and then I'll have a wash. Yeah, and the one that I watched was by Barry Schwartz. It was a TED Talk from 2007, so it all looked very grainy.
They've
And
been going on a while then, haven't they?
Yeah.
They've
Long
feel
time.
like a recent thing. That, like,
they even have little offshoots now, TEDx talks.
Who's
Have you
TED?
watched any of them?
is it TED an acronym?
It's Ted, the teddy bear from the films.
What films? Winnie the
Ted.
Pooh?
No, Ted.
Oh, Ted.
But the films came out after the talks. Did
Yeah,
he invented them, and then they made the biopic about Ted.
Yeah, how he thought of them. So I stumbled across this one. And this Barry Schwartz guy wrote a book called The Paradox of Choice. And according to the Wikipedia summary, which says this a lot more succinctly than I ever could, the book demonstrates how the dramatic explosion in choice, from the mundane to the profound challenges of balancing career, family, and individual needs, has paradoxically become a problem instead of a solution, and how our obsession with choice encourages us to seek that which makes us feel worse. In other words, he thinks, this guy, Barry Schwartz, that in the modern world we've now got too much choice. We've got too much to choose from, and it actually makes us sad rather than happy, because no matter what we choose, we're always left wondering what it would have been like if we'd have chosen the other thing.
Yeah.
We're always thinking, what did I miss out on by choosing this?
It's like when you go for steak thinking it's safe and you think, oh, but that macaroni and cheese looks good.
Exactly. Well, I always have a mac and cheese side with my steak, but
That's one way of doing it.
yeah.
The logical conclusion then is that you just got to be brutal and say, I'm doing this and only this, and cut out everything else.
Well, an example that he gives in the book is a study by Sheena Iyengar and Mark Lepper, which showed that people were more satisfied with the taste of jam if they were given a smaller choice of jams to choose from, basically, rather than a large choice. The point being, if our choices were limited forcefully by someone else, then we would feel happier, basically, because, yeah, we haven't got as much choice, and choice is vital to freedom. So, you know...
It makes a lot of sense. So say you're going to M&S and you're looking at the sandwich section and you've got hundreds. So sometimes I stand there looking like, what the fuck do I want? But if I had ham and cheese or just cheese, I'd be like, oh, ham and cheese, that's a little bit more interesting than just cheese. I'd be very satisfied with my choice of the two, you know?
Exactly, see? So, yeah, he talks about strategies for addressing the problem, and his TED Talk is actually quite entertaining as well, because he's quite a charismatic guy and he's a bit eccentric, if I remember rightly. I did watch this months ago. But the point that I bring this up for is that I don't think you need a strategy, Alex. You don't need to, you know, come up with a way to not have FOMO when you choose one of these things. I think that you're looking at it the wrong way, and this isn't actually a choice. Like when you're at work, the choice has been made for you. You're at work and you've basically got to focus on your work, because if you don't, you won't get paid and you won't be able to pay your rent or your mortgage or whatever. So while you're there, you can't exactly regret not choosing to do one of your hobbies. And when you've got free time, I would say the choice has been made for you then as well. You shouldn't be thinking about your work, because fuck that shit. You're not being paid to be there.
Fuck that shit.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit.
So I would say just, don't give them 3 hours. Do your hobbies and focus on it, and maybe read this book and realise the mistake you're making.
I agree with you. I'm going along that vein with my example. 1989, The Karate Kid 3, directed by John G. Alvidson. Have we both seen Karate Kid 3? All seen it?
I haven't seen any of the Karate Kids.
Kid 3, wasn't that a different kid?
No, that's 4. It's
Oh,
Hilary
okay.
Swank.
I've definitely seen 1 and 2. I
And
don't remember
Karate
3.
Kid reboot with Jackie Chan is Jaden Smith,
Yeah, I
isn't it?
remember that one. Yeah.
Which is
Had,
good.
had that on Blu-ray, never watched it. True story.
Good in its own right as well.
Jaden Smith, as in Will Smith's.
Son. It's quite a good film.
You know the thing about the Smith children, don't you?
They're all the Smiths.
The son's named after the mum,
Jaden
Yeah.
after
And-
Jada.
and the daughter's named after the
Willow
dad.
after Will.
Yeah.
Ah.
I thought that's a nice idea.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I put my hair back and forth.
So I'm going to call
Willow,
my
innit?
daughter Liamette.
And Peggy. So, in Karate Kid 3, you must know like the premise of Karate Kid, right?
He puts the wax on and he takes the wax off,
Yeah.
He puts
Exactly.
the lotion on its skin.
or else it gets the hose again.
Exactly, yeah.
And he doesn't put baby in the corner.
But he does have the time of his life.
You're really upsetting me right now. Honestly.
And he shall not pass.
So, in backstory, Karate Kid 1, Daniel LaRusso moves to a new town, gets bullied, and a mysterious karate master called Mr. Miyagi saves him from the bullies, and then says, I'll teach you karate, which is about defense. It's not about attack, it's about defense. And in teaching karate, he basically gets Daniel to do a load of DIY at his house, so hence paint the fence, paint the house, wax on, wax off, is waxing the cars. And unbeknownst to Daniel, we actually doing those things actually made him a black belt in karate, because when Mr. Miyagi goes to attack him, he uses these things like wax on. I'm waving my hands about here. Wax on, wax off, paint the fence. You know.
Oh, yeah.
So it teaches him karate by muscle memory, essentially.
Is that factually accurate?
It happened, yeah.
And it happens all the time as well. I was bathing the other day and I accidentally got my PADI scuba diving qualification.
In Karate Kid 1, I always felt sorry for the antagonist because he's painted in a really bad light, but actually he's really forced into it by
Johnny,
by the
Yeah,
other guy.
Yeah, and you get that, and they all show him respect at the end. The Cobra Kai kids, and Cobra Kai is a great series on Netflix, by the way. It's fucking brilliant. Have you watched
I've
any
not
of it?
watched it,
Oh,
no.
it's amazing, honestly. So anyway, so Daniel then goes to wins the All Valley Karate Tournament. Karate Kid 2 takes place in Okinawa, and is like kind of a standalone piece. Doesn't really continue the story. Loads of things about bonsai trees and that. Anyway, they come back from Okinawa in Karate Kid 3, start a bonsai tree shop. And then the big question about what Daniel should do is, should he compete in the All Valley tournament and defend his title? There's a new kid on the block, Mike Barnes, who's he's very aggressive and he's known as karate's bad boy. And it's really funny. He's kind of trained by the big bad Terry Silver, who's a toxic waste tycoon. Like, he's really bad. He deals in toxic waste.
Those sweets, those super sour sweets.
Yeah, sells them by the hundreds. Yeah. So Miss Miyagi's saying to Daniel, don't fight. You proved something in the tournament. You fought your bullies off. You won the tournament. You don't get bullied anymore. Daniel's like, yeah, but I kind of want to defend my title. Miss Miyagi's like, well, I won't train you. So Daniel goes to Terry Silver, who's acting like he's nice, but he's actually like trying to sabotage him. But in the end, Mr. Miyagi does train him. They go to the All Valley tournament. He gets to the final versus Mike Barnes, and Daniel's taking a beating. So I've got a little bit of script here. Does anyone want to help me out with it? Enter Miss Miyagi and Into the Dragon. Dun, dun. So it says, in the script, it says, after 3 minutes of devastating wallops taken from Barnes at the All Valley Karate Tournament, Daniel was slumped on the match, clutching his side, when Miyagi rushes up. Every now and again, Aaron, can you come in and saying, you're karate shit? Okay. That's what Mike Barnes does while they're having this chat.
All right.
Okay. Miss Miyagi,
Your karate's shit!
Daniel-san!
Mr. Miyagi, it's over. It's over. Forget about it.
No!
I'm afraid. Let's just get out of here. I want to go home.
Your karate's shit!
No, cannot. Must not. It's okay to lose to opponent. Must not lose to fear.
Yeah, well, I'm afraid. I'm afraid of him, all right? What do you want me to do?
Hey! You stay focused. Daniel-san, your best karate's still inside you. Now time to let out. Exit scene. Finn.
Your karate's shit!
So, very
I think Aaron upstaged us a bit there.
He did, didn't he? Yeah, he was great as Mike Barnes and Bad Boy Karate.
I felt bad. I put myself in the shoes of a bad boy.
Karate bad boy.
So yeah, it's an iconic scene for me who's watched this film a lot.
So I've not actually seen the film. Did I sound anything like Daniel?
You did, yeah. Like he's arriving, yeah, it's good. So Mr. Miyagi inspires Daniel. He says, "You stay focused." Daniel gets up and he performs a kata, which is a pattern, like you do karate, but you're not actually fighting. It's a bit weird. I don't know how it helps, but
Is it like Lei Wulong?
yeah, basically.
Tekken.
Yeah, from Tekken. So he does it. So his kata or pattern, it confuses Mike Barnes. Like, what the fuck's he doing? And then he beats him and
My
wins.
karate's shit!
So Daniel wins. So he had to stay focused on the karate, and when he stayed focused, his best karate come out of him, as Miss Miyagi said. So what I'm trying to say, after all this,
Another 20 minutes have passed.
is that if you focus on your work at work, you won't need to be unfocused on your hobbies when you're doing hobbies, because you would have done your work, you would have got it done. Stop fucking about, essentially. Work when you're working, play when you're playing. Stay focused, Daniel-san.
Who directed this film?
John G. Alvinson.
Did you know an interesting fact about that?
No.
He actually directed it in his sleep. And he woke up and there was all of Karate Kid 3 and then 40 minutes of him snoring.
Well,
Yeah, they had to cut the snoring and just put credits, but
it was just made. It was already made. That's incredible.
Can you help me with my problem? I think that it might be a long shot. My problem is, you see, that no one believes that I am not a robot. Executing procedure. Problem solving.
Let's move on to problem 2. I think my friend's husband might be cheating on her. I've never really trusted him anyway, but recently I passed a restaurant where I could swear I saw him sitting with another woman, having a very cosy looking meal. Should I tell my friend, or stay out of it?
You've already done that, Whitney. It's not right, haven't you?
But it's okay.
Yeah. You've done that before, haven't you?
I have, yeah.
yeah, that would have been
for
a
that.
good one, yeah. Well, let's call this person Whitney then.
Okay. Whitters.
Whitters.
This is quite a non-trivial problem, isn't it? Have either of you ever had this come up in your lives?
Ooh, no.
No. Have I ever stumbled across someone else cheating?
Have you ever thought that you found out something that one of your friends wouldn't like, and you felt like you needed to tell them, but you wasn't sure whether you should or not? Maybe it's quite specific.
Yeah, no.
I don't think I have.
The
no.
problem is, I think, probably for all three of us, none of us are observant enough.
No,
Like,
really not.
We
Yeah.
might stumble across things that are, big news and just go, "Oh, I've got peanuts in the cupboard. I'm going to eat some of them."
Yeah, I'd have to literally catch him in the act and then process it for a good
3 weeks later. When it's already-
we're in the nib. Should we do a little pop quiz, asshole?
Go for it.
We're going to make this a segment, pop quiz, asshole. I
Yeah.
like it, yeah.
Regular pop quiz arseholes.
Yeah, I'm going to try and come up with a pop quiz, asshole every episode.
Every episode, I like it. Let's go. Is it a competitive?
Do we know where pop quiz, asshole comes from?
It comes from a Keanu Reeves film. I'm going to say Speed 2.
Aaron?
Speed 1.
Yes!
I saw Carl react well to you saying speed and then his face drop when you said 2. So I was like...
So the pop quiz asshole this week is about Hollywood stars, intermixed with some others, who have cheated on their famous lovers, or sometimes not so famous.
Famous cheaters.
Famous cheaters. I did, when I was researching this, I Googled Hollywood love rats. And got loads of articles about why do Hollywood love rats, like Ratatouille. I was like,
Ratatouille is such a good film, though.
No,
Why wouldn't you love that?
but is there a lot of rat films? I don't know.
That's the only one I can name.
Mouse Hunt is a mouse.
The Rat Pack? They're not really rats.
Don't know.
Singers.
Yeah. There's a rat in there's a rat in the Suicide Squad, the latest one.
Ah,
That's quite
the rat in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Splinter.
And there's a
Splinter.
rat in the...
In my kitchen.
What are you going to do?
There's a rat in...
The Departed.
yeah, The Departed.
There's a lot of rats in that. Yeah. It's about rats, really.
Yeah.
Hollywood is obsessed with rats, it seems, yeah.
Why is Hollywood obsessed with rats?
You should Google it.
So, right, it's number one. Should we go, we buzzer in? Yeah, we're
Yeah, right.
buzzering.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, so what's your buzzer?
Beep.
Okay. So, you get a point for the person they cheated on and the person they cheated with.
Okay.
Okay. Right, question one. Brad Pitt.
Cheated on Angelina
He did
Jolie.
beep, beep.
Oh.
We're going over to Liam, who played correctly.
He cheated on Angelina Jolie with Jennifer Aniston.
Damn
it.
Cheated on Jennifer Aniston with Angelina Jolie.
Yes. Oh, no. 2 points to Aaron. Ashton Kutcher. Aaron?
Cheated on Demi Moore with Mila Kunis.
With admin assistant Sarah Leal.
Oh,
So
I
you
don't
probably
get
wouldn't
the
go
point,
there.
do I?
No, you get 1 point for Debbie Moore.
Oh, it's a double point thing, is it?
Yeah, the 3-0.
Oh, so you might as well just buzz in. Oh, you should hand it over though. Otherwise, you can just buzz in if you.
Would you
got
got Sarah Leal, admin assistant, though?
No, obviously not. But just for future.
For each year, okay.
I want those fucking points, Carl.
Because otherwise, I could just buzz in and Aaron would get no points,
Okay.
even if I didn't get any points.
John F. Kennedy, JFK.
Beep.
Yep.
Cheated on Jackie Kennedy
Yeah.
with. I have no idea.
With
Hand
a
it over.
Kennedy sausage.
It's probably the most famous affair in history.
Yeah. Monica Lewinsky.
Hang on. It wasn't Jackie Onassis, was it?
No.
That is Jackie Kennedy, right?
Pass. Am I playing
Jackie
now?
Stewart.
JFK cheated on his wife Jackie Kennedy with Marilyn Monroe.
Is that true?
Well, I was going to say, actually, I should have caveated this with, this is what's been reported in, like, mass media,
Okay.
allegedly. I don't know whether they're actually all true, but this
Yeah.
is widely known.
Other
Or
affairs
widely-
are available.
Yes, exactly. Billy Bob Thornton.
I know who he is, but I don't know of any relationships he's
So
had.
do I get a point if I say I cheated on his wife?
No.
He cheated on one person with another.
So he cheated on Laura Dern
Oh, yeah. From Jurassic Park.
with
Were they married?
Angelina Jolie.
From Tomb Raider.
Yeah, of Tomb Raider fame. So she's appeared twice in the pub quiz asshole this
Yeah.
week. Yeah.
Was she the other woman both
Yeah.
times as well? Oh, my days.
So in that situation, Laura Dern was off filming a film, as you film films.
Was it Jurassic Park?
I can't remember. No, it wasn't. I don't think it might have been, but no, I don't know.
Was it The Last Jedi?
Well, she wasn't in many, was she? But and while she was away, in the 2 months she was away, Billy Bob Thornton married Angelina Jolie.
Married?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, that's more than just cheating, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
like...
By the way, I'm married. She come back and he was like, "Yeah, I married this woman while you were away," basically.
You want to hear about the weekend I've had. And by the way, your bags are packed.
Kelly Brook.
No.
No, this
don't know.
this one riles my wife up because she cheated on Jason Statham for Billy Zane, the posh guy in Titanic.
Is it because your wife loves Jason Statham?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, "What the fuck would you do that for?" He knows kung fu. He's in Snatch.
So does Keanu Reeves.
He does.
And
I know.
Danielson.
I know kung fu.
Yeah.
And Danielson. Yeah. Bonus point.
Your wife would love Jason Statham to be in Snatch, wouldn't she? I'm not keeping that in.
It's a good one though. Bonus point. Prince Charles.
Beep.
Oh, I think Aaron got it.
Cheated on Diana Spencer with Camilla Parker Bowles.
Yes.
That was my chance to win.
So I forgot to count the scores. So 1, 2, 3 for Aaron.
Aaron wins.
Aaron wins. Pop quizzes.
That's a good jingle.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on to my point.
What's my point? Cheating happens all the time.
Yeah.
Get over it.
Well, you could use that to say, like, a lot of these people have landed on their feet pretty, like, you know, I don't condone cheating one bit, but, like, Brad Pitt is, people love him, idolise him still, even though he's a cheater.
Shouldn't you be focusing on the victims rather than the...
Yeah, what happened to the victims? That's a good point, actually. Jennifer Aniston.
Just make your original point. We've led you down a path now, haven't we?
You have, yeah. Well, my point it's a little bit off the wall. So 2014's Gone Girl, directed by David Fincher.
Very good film.
Good film, isn't it? It's
Rosamund
long.
Pike
Yes.
and Ben Affleck.
Yes. Affleck, I wrote down.
I've not seen it.
Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah. He plays Desi.
Desi Lynam.
Big moustache.
Yeah, David Fincher's a great director. I think I love everything he's done.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're talking Zodiac, Prisoners,
Fight Club.
Yeah.
The Social Network.
Yeah. What a great guy. Mindhunter, the series on Netflix.
Yeah.
Great series.
I think he only directed the first couple of episodes, didn't he? But
It's
he's
got
producer.
got his
fingerprints
tone, isn't it?
all over him.
His DNA's in it. So Rosamund Pike plays Amy, otherwise known as Amazing Amy. She got children's books written about her, so she's like the perfect girl growing up. But I think the books went till like she was a teenager, like it was following her life almost. So she's known throughout the country, and then she's married to Nick, played by Ben Affleck. Their marriage is on the rocks as they lose their jobs and move to Missouri, where Ben Affleck or Nick's family live, and looking after his mum, and they have financial difficulties. So things are not great. Nick's a teacher, begins an affair with one of his students, played by Emily Ratajkowski, I think her name is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
From the Blurred Lines video.
Yeah, of Blurred Lines fame. And
I was about to say that's ironic, but is it ironic?
not really.
No. You've misunderstood the meaning of ironic anyway. Ironic is like rain on your wedding day.
Or win the lottery, then die the next day.
Yeah. It's a free ride when you've already paid.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just you being a mug, isn't it?
Yeah, so when Amy finds out about the affair, she takes quite savage revenge, and it's a very long-winded plan. So she wants to frame Nick for a murder. So she creates evidence of a struggle in the house, splashes her blood everywhere, and then haphazardly cleans it up, and then disappears completely. So it looks like she's been killed. And Nick's a bit of an arsehole, and he looks like he doesn't care. So everyone is against him straight away, thinking he definitely murdered her. And there's blood everywhere, so he gets arrested for murder, essentially. In the build-up to this, she's been confiding in a neighbour about the abuse that Nick's been...
She's gone a long way to set this up. And
She really has, yeah. So she makes up stories about Nick, which she tells her neighbour, and she's like, she uses neighbour as like, I really need a friend, like I'm in a really bad situation. So the neighbour obviously backs up her story, and then she writes in her diary, makes up stuff, kind of sprinkled with real things that happen. So when the police verify the things in the diary, they find things that were true, so obviously assume that his abuse is true as well. She steals a pregnant woman's urine to pretend that she was pregnant at the time, so Nick would be tried for double murder, which would result in his execution if he's found guilty.
Justified response.
Yeah.
All in all.
So, you know, there are avenues you can take, you know. Well, what I would do...
Help your friend start planning this.
I would exercise caution in that know what your friend is like, and if her response needs to be measured, so you need to know how she's going to react before you tell her. I think she should know if her husband's cheating on her, but you also don't know what the husband's doing, so maybe confront him first, sound him out, but you don't want to end up your friend going down this road. I've also assumed, it's her husband, but it might be
it's kind of like a word of caution, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
It could end up, it could go way out of your control.
It could escalate into a Gone Girl situation. So know what you're telling her before you tell her anything, I would say.
Gone Girl is an excellent film, Liam. You should watch it. You should read the book as well. It's by Gillian Flynn, who we've mentioned before, friend of the podcast. She wrote Sharp Objects.
Oh, yeah. It was so, obviously, I haven't read the book, but it's obviously so gripping that the book was written in 2012, the film is 2014. So it was one of those instant, this is a film.
She's a very good writer, Gillian Flynn. She wrote the script as well, the screenplay.
Did she?
And there's a brilliant episode of Lessons from the Screenplay on YouTube which is a fantastic YouTube channel. You should watch it, Carl.
Yeah.
Being a
A
film
film
buff.
guru.
This guy basically analyzes screenplays and says what worked about them, what didn't work and stuff. And he's really good. He's got a nice voice and he's very good at analysing these things.
Sounds good.
And he's a big fan of her screenplay. He says that she writes really well. But that was just a little aside. But my point, Carl, is almost exactly the same as yours. I would exercise caution before you do anything because, as you say, cheating is wrong. And if this guy is cheating, fuck him. No, don't fuck him because that's just
He'll be
adding
cheating
to the
more
problem.
then.
Stop fucking him.
But you say in your problem, Witters, that I think my friend's husband might be cheating. I've never really trusted him anyway. So you were looking for a reason, it sounds like. But I recently passed the restaurant where I could swear I saw him.
Don't even
So
know.
what I
do
want to
you?
say
Yeah.
is be sure before you do anything.
Aaron's good
because-
at analysing the problem. I just read it and think, oh, cheating.
This is my Lessons from the Problems YouTube channel.
They're really well written, but
It might be that this bloke is leading a double life. So here's my example. The Best a Man Can Get by John O'Farrell. In The Best a Man Can Get by John O'Farrell, Michael has got a wife called Catherine and he's got 2 kids, but he's also got a flat a short distance away from their house, which he shares with Paul, Simon and Jim. He spends his days in this flat just dossing around basically like a student, living the life of a lad.
loads.
Because, he's escaping his boring, responsible life back home. And it's a comedy novel from 2000, which probably wouldn't be that funny anymore because it's a bit of a lad culture, thing, which isn't really funny anymore. And that's what the Goodreads reviews imply. It won't surprise you to hear that I have not read this book. So. But the point is, when his double life is exposed, his wife uses the fridge magnets to write out the word wanker and leaves him.
Nice.
And he has to decide whether...
That's not strong enough, is it? Wanker.
No. Wanker.
You're a wanker. My wife calls me a wanker all the time.
Yeah. She does. It's like the other extreme from Gone Girl, isn't it? She's just mildly called him a wanker and walked out. She hasn't plotted for months.
No, maybe she did.
To
What
stage her
word
own
should I
murder.
use?
The point being, when a double life is exposed, both of those lives will potentially be destroyed. So, in this case, if he never was leading a double life, what you're going to do is drop the bomb, walk off, and then you might have actually been wrong. Like you didn't see him in the restaurant. So what I'm going to say is that you should make 100% sure before you do anything. Because if it definitely was him, I think you should expose him and let his wife take whatever course of action she thinks is reasonable.
And to make sure you can see,
Get the fridge magnets
you
out.
can see previous episodes where we give you advice on how to expose the rat. So you can
Get
use,
Jack Nicholson involved
Yeah, he's a rat.
and Ratatouille.
Yeah.
But obviously, this isn't a fantastic example because I haven't read the book as usual. And it's kind of, it's not quite the same situation. But I did want to mention it because in August this year, this book was featured in the Metro because of a story in which this guy bought a copy from a charity shop of this book. And there was a note inside it, handwritten note saying, "Chris, is this what you thought you could do with me? Lead a double life with your so-called recreational relationships, leaving me completely unaware, bringing up our children and thinking you were just a workaholic, and that's why you were away from home so much. What a bastard you have been to me, Sarah." I like the fact that she signed off with her name. You just think so that he knew which one.
Also, at worst, he's got a book out of this, hasn't he?
Yeah.
She bought him a present.
Exactly, yeah. She bought him a book it's a bit like writing wanker on the fridge. It's quite a mild act of revenge,
Did
isn't
she-
it?
she wrapped
Have
it-
this book, you bastard.
She wraps it up like in wrapping paper.
Yeah. So, that's an example from real life and fiction in one package there.
It's a great example.
Before you destroy their marriage, potentially.
And your friendship.
Yeah, make 100% sure.
So I'm also going to advocate exercising caution, but for slightly different reasons. This is a song that was introduced to me only very recently by none other than
Aaron.
Aaron. That's your name. Thanks. I forgot. It's a song called Nobody No Crime by Taylor Swift featuring Haim, or Taylor Swift and Haim. I'm not sure how they released it. Something like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. It's a tune though.
It's from 2021 as well. I think it's the first song we've had from 2021. We're finally in this year.
I'm going to have to wait till next year to broadcast this episode now, aren't I? Just to keep us on theme.
And I think this is actually a really good song. And it's not often, I find these days, that you hear a song that not only is quite enjoyable to listen to, but tells a good story as well. I love a song that tells a good story.
Am I right in thinking they wrote or helped her write a lot of her last album? Is that right? Or they
possibly they're very good friends.
Yeah, I saw on the Brit Awards they were there supporting Taylor Swift.
As an aside, I bloody love Haim. I think they're brilliant.
They're sisters,
You've
right? Yeah.
mentioned them on the podcast before.
Oh, right. I'll do it again.
And how much you loved them.
Was it on the podcast or was it in the thing where we talked
in the
about...
behind the scenes documentary?
the blog post we did where we talked about stuff we'd listened to recently.
Oh, possibly. I don't know.
It was in the bath when we were all in the bath, wasn't it?
Getting our scuba diving qualifications.
So, yeah, and you know, I love a song that tells a good story. That's what I was saying earlier. Assuming it is a story.
I think about this quite often. You don't get many pop songs these days that tell a story, do you? They're just like, oh, I want you to stick it in me.
Yeah, I don't know if this is...
What radio stations have you been listening to?
This might expose us too much, but I was having a go at Liam's job of looking at music for examples, and a lot of songs are just gibberish, aren't they?
Yeah.
And they're meaningless crap. So
yeah.
Liam's job is quite hard.
Sometimes they have titles that sound like they're going to be spot on.
Yeah.
And when you look at the words, you're like, what are you talking about?
Exactly, yeah.
But yeah, so this song, Nobody No Crime, it's a story about Taylor Swift's friend Esty, whose husband seems to be cheating on her. And Esty's pretty certain of this, and she says she's going to call him out. But, plot twist.
Dun dun dun.
Esty suddenly goes missing.
Fuck.
And just to make it more suspicious, her husband, Mistress, moves into the house immediately afterwards. So,
oh shit!
You got to ask yourself in this situation.
Ooh, scandalous! What's that from?
I don't know.
Recess.
I do remember that actually. Yeah.
Do you remember when?
Cole, you blow me away with your cultural references sometimes.
Randall in Recess was a lot like Randall in Monsters Inc. Have you ever noticed that?
That is very they've got the same kind of posture.
Do you reckon Randall in Monsters Inc. was based on Randall from Recess?
Do you remember when Spinelli become an Ashley?
No.
It rocked the world.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Do you remember when Liam was making a point?
I don't.
No, me neither.
Might be a dream.
He said something about Recess, didn't he?
Carry on, Recess, go on.
Right, let's recap, because I feel like we've gone miles away.
Mrs. Finster.
Esty's husband was cheating. She suspects something. She says she's going to call him out.
Esty
then she goes missing. You got to ask yourself in this situation, WWTTD, what would Tay-Tay do?
Tay-Tay, yeah.
And I think the solution is obvious. Carl, do you know what she does?
Burns the house down.
Not quite. She kills him, takes him out in a boat and drops the body into an undescribed body of water. And I was thinking, probably a good idea not to describe the body of water, because just in case it is true, people are going to know where she did it, right? I'm not suggesting that.
So she kills her friend's husband for her? Fuck.
To get revenge for him murdering his wife.
That's the whole nobody...
Oh, because she usually said she disappeared, but she's... Is she
the
dead?
implication is that he's killed her.
Yeah.
How long is this song? 3 minutes or so?
Yeah.
It's very good, isn't it?
But that's
you should listen to it. It's good.
Yeah. Nobody, no crime, she's saying. You'll never find the body, so I'll get away with it.
Like he thought he got away with it.
Exactly.
And it just so happens that his mistress has just bought a life insurance policy for him. So even though Tay-Tay did it, the police think his mistress did it.
Oh, Tay-Tay, you scandalous.
Recess.
Yeah. Do you remember Recess?
So, yeah, I'm not saying... We didn't give our pickle a name, did we?
Yeah, it was Witters.
Oh, Witters.
Yeah, it was a long time ago now.
It was like 40 minutes ago.
I'm not saying that Witters should kill him. I don't think we can condone murder here at Agony Art.
No.
Can we?
No, I've never condoned murder.
Right.
No, I don't think we should do that. That's probably a tiny step too far.
But what I would say is do exercise caution and do look out of your
Look out of your window.
look out your window and look out for your friend. Because if she does agree with you and tries to confront him, you don't want to go and missing. So maybe if she does say, I'm going to confront him, suggest she gets a third party to witness it or something like that. You know, I don't know. You don't want to go
An
missing.
adjudicator.
You don't want to have to get the boat out. Do you? Or maybe you could send him a link to Nobody No Crime with a winky smiley. Just
A
to-
VR code,
Yeah,
just to maybe.
VR code tattoo. What of the song?
Yeah.
Takes you to Spotify.
Yeah.
And what? Get him to take a picture of you, and then it pops up on his phone camera.
This is convoluted.
No, but it's got to be convoluted because if he knows that you know, then you might be putting yourself in danger.
If you know he knows you know, you can preempt that though.
You can, yeah. But if he knows that you know that he knows you
Oh
know
my
that he knows.
Do you remember when we talked about giant rats in the last episode about the siege of Leningrad?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, rats come up a lot, don't they?
Carl hasn't listened to a word you've been saying. He's just been thinking about rats and recess.
So, Cole, in this time, have you figured out why Hollywood love rats?
No.
I had a dream, it was a curious thing. A wonderful podcast presenters problem solve for me. They helped me with my miserable life. I had a fresh new start. La-da-da. But alas, when I awoke, all I could find was agony on.
All right, well,
Good stuff, Liam.
I think we can move on to problem 3. I love going to parties, loosening up with a few good pints and having a dance and a laugh with my mates. But whenever I drink, even if it's just enough to get tipsy and not completely drunk, I wake up the next day with black spots in my memory, whole chunks of time that I can't account for. And recently, I can't seem to contain the worry that I might have said or done something bad during those black spots, and I just can't remember it. It makes me not want to have fun anymore because I know that I'll just spend the whole of the next day worried about what I've done and what people will think of me. Is there a way to cure this that doesn't involve giving up parties?
I get this so bad.
I was going to say that. I know. you
Yeah,
do
this reminded me of you, Aaron.
Yeah.
They call it the fear.
The fear.
And I've got it a little bit today.
Lily Allen.
I'm a little bit hungover. Yeah, Lily Allen's fear.
Yeah. you should just get a Lily Allen. Were you out last night then, or drinking indoors?
I only went to my mum's, and there were only family members there.
Yeah, so what could have gone wrong?
So I just exactly, and I
Yeah, but your mum goes off, doesn't she?
yeah. And yeah, it's just as soon as I have a few drinks. To be fair, there's not even any black spots from last night, but I still wake up thinking, what could I have said last night? And I'm not even that hungover. Like I wasn't pissed out of my face.
I have a recent issue with this as well at my sister-in-law's wedding. Like, yeah, I had to actually make it better for myself. I had to determine the amount of time that I don't remember, and it turns out it's probably about 45 minutes. And then I thought, well, what could have gone wrong in 45 minutes?
What distraction can I cause
Exactly,
in
yeah.
45 minutes?
Yeah, but yeah, the next day I was like, fuck, because I intended to be like really good at the wedding, like, you know, I want to remember it, I want to have fun. And I just got shit-faced and don't remember anything, really. So,
Well, once you get past a certain number of beers or
Yeah.
whatever drinks,
this was wine.
you
and then
start
whiskey.
thinking, I'm having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm going to have more. I'm going to
Yeah.
have more fun
Yeah,
and more drink.
exactly.
It's
Yeah,
usually- it's usually
yeah.
about 2 beers for me.
Yeah.
I find it depends who I'm with, though, because I haven't really got, like, properly... Can't remember what happened for quite a few years, but at, like, weddings,
Your
especially
wedding,
when it's
your
people-
wedding was one of mine.
Yeah, especially
Like
when
me.
it's people I'm really close to. It's like, that's when I just lose all inhibitions and go for it.
Actually,
Yeah.
Aaron's wedding, I forgot that I had 2 portions of the hog roast. I forgot that there was a hog roast. Someone the next day said, "Did you have the hog roast?" I went, "No, that would have been good." Then when you had 2 burgers at once, I was like, "Ah, okay." Sorry, my wife said.
I'll beep it.
Yeah.
So we can call this one Carl then. Since
It happens a lot to me. Yeah, it seems. Yeah.
Carl.
Yeah.
No, I'm addressing the problem
Yes,
writer.
Miss Skate.
Yeah, Cole, you can be the problem writer and you can just respond
Yeah.
to everything Aaron says.
Being the book guy, I thought it's a shame really that writers haven't got a reputation as being a load of drunks. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute, they have. So I found some writers who had
Can we
similar
see if we can guess who
issues.
you've got?
Yeah, go.
Hemingway.
No.
Larkin.
I didn't want to do Hemingway because he's the obvious one. He was a massive drunk.
Charles Bukowski.
He is in there, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Stop it now because you're
All right,
ruining
sorry.
it. The first example I want to use is Robert Burns, the Scottish poet.
Rabbie Burns.
Yeah, who wrote to someone in 1791.
Is he the only writer to have a night named after Burns Night? Like, who else has a public holiday?
Guy Fawkes.
He wrote to someone in 1791 saying this, and this is a sick letter. Madam, I dare say this is the first epistle you ever received from this nether world. I write you from the regions of hell, amid the horrors of the damned. The time and manner of my leaving your earth I do not exactly know, as I took my departure in the heat of a fever of intoxication, contracted at your too hospitable mansion. But, on my arrival here, I was fairly tried, and sentenced to endure the purgatorial tortures of this infernal confine for the space of 29 years, 11 months, and 29 days, and all on account of the impropriety of my conduct yesterday under your roof. He's proper sad about how he behaved the night before.
Yeah, that is.
I'm going to put a link in to it's on Google Books. I think it's like a collection of letters, but so Robert Burns felt that pain.
I thought you were going to say he wrote the letter while he was drunk. And I was about to say bollocks.
He wrote it while he was asleep.
Yeah,
The rest of the letter is him snoring.
So it's not a new phenomenon then.
No, exactly. 1791, people were feeling the fear. Bridget Jones by Helen Fielding. She gets worried when she wakes up with a hangover. She hides in her room under a duvet and obsesses over her attractiveness and love life, which is really what the whole books are about, and films starring Renee Zellweger. In Paradise by A.L. Kennedy, Hannah Luckcraft enjoys drinking till she blacks out, but she later says, "Inside, I am mostly built out of remorse." Just like you, Carl. Charles Bukowski. He's got a pretty strong reputation, as you say, Liam, for being a heavy drinker. Quote from him, "Sometimes you climb out of bed in the morning and you think, I'm not going to make it. But you laugh inside, remembering all the times you've felt that way." And he said something which might help you, Carl. He said, "Some people never go crazy. What truly horrible lives they must lead." So from that, maybe you can think, the hangovers might be bad, but the good times were pretty good.
But you don't remember them.
No. But you remember some of it, don't you?
Yeah, you do, yeah. And people tell you.
Yeah.
It's very rare that you've actually done something terrible.
Exactly, yeah.
Really rare, actually.
But I'm going to give you an example of when someone did something terrible.
Oh, God.
There's a short story collection I've mentioned before. It's by Aaron Kane Heinemann. It's called Removed Without Warning.
Oh, that guy.
Did you do this in series 1?
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah,
It doesn't
you're
matter.
better at that. You can't have
It
more
doesn't
than
matter
one
if
per
it was the
series.
last episode, Liam. I'm still going to use it.
What a great writer that guy is.
Isn't it? One of the stories, Blood, involves a man waking up after a heavy night of drinking with a really bad hangover. And we join him as he's slowly waking from his slumber, and he notices that his hands and his bed sheets are all covered in blood. And he's got no memory of what he's done or what happened the night before. He's got no cuts on him, so this blood doesn't seem to be his, and he's got no idea what he's done, basically. And the story follows him as he tries to piece together the events of the previous night, and he's facing, twists and turns and roadblocks along the way. And what's the advice? Well, in that story, the protagonist turns to his friends for reassurance. He texts them, he calls them, he says, basically, what the fuck happened last night? So maybe you should just reassure yourself with that. I mean, when I get the fear, I don't want to speak to people in case they're furious with me. But maybe you should just face up to them, Carl, the morning after and ask, what happened last night, because I'm feeling pretty shitty.
Yeah.
A little bitty.
A little bitty shitty.
Little bitty pretty shitty.
I'm very impressed with these new authors. I don't know where they get their ideas from.
I
know, yeah.
What a fantastic generation of authors.
Maybe it's their own life experiences.
Right, so Aaron, you say that, maybe just ask people.
You say.
And I'm assuming the implication there is if you have done something wrong, then you probably should apologise or something. Or you thought about that far?
Oh no, I haven't. cross that bridge when you get to it. First of all, just find out what happened so that you can reassure yourself that nothing bad did happen. If something bad did happen, I've got no idea what you do. Just cry. Just keep crying.
That's good, because the music industry does have some lessons for that. To be honest, if it teaches us anything, it's more that you shouldn't worry about what you've done in the past, because you can always just apologise and everything will work out fine. And there's quite a few examples of this. We're going to focus on one here, which is by U02.
What, us two?
You
and
two.
Carl.
Remember when you recorded that song?
That was great, though, wasn't it?
I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry for what I did last night. I didn't mean to do it though, but my behaviour was shy.
Why didn't you record that? Sounds great. Well, when Irish rock band U2, do I have to prefix it with that every time?
So, yeah, Bono and Co.
Recorded The Joshua Tree in 1986. Bono reportedly missed his wife, Ali Hewson's birthday because he had to be in the studio. So he wrote a song as a birthday present instead. Recorded it as a B-side. A B-side!
Oh,
anyway.
What's a shit present as well? Fuck off.
I'm not that sorry.
When you're good at something, yeah. Can you imagine? It's like if you're a footballer, I've scored a goal for you. There you go. Happy birthday.
You're going to do it anyway, though, wouldn't you? Yeah, a B-side to Where the Streets Have No Name in 1987, and the song was called Sweetest Thing. You know this song?
Oh, the sweetest thing.
It's beautiful, Carl.
I'm sorry I missed your birthday.
I'm just
I
a
was in the
massive
studio.
prick.
And it was, you might remember, it was later released as a single in 1998.
Yeah, it was a lot later.
A lot later.
Yeah. It doesn't sound like a
so-
U2 song, really, does it, either?
No, it's really different, especially when you consider the Joshua Tree was like pretty... They were pretty strong.
Pretty
rock band
U2-y,
back
wasn't it?
then,
Yeah, it's very
and then
U2-y.
Sweetest Thing is a pop song, really.
It is. I remember even being... When did it come out? 98, so? I remember being 10 thinking, this doesn't sound like a U2 song.
Yeah. It's very astute for a 10-year-old. But yeah, when I found out that when that video was released in 1998, it had already been released as a B-side 11 years earlier, I was a bit unimpressed.
Bit cheeky, isn't it?
She's presumably over it by now, so what's the point?
Maybe he missed another birthday.
Maybe he did, yeah. Maybe he did it every year.
Oh, by the way, I wrote this song for you. You never heard it before, I promise. I made the video for you.
I took it all the way from B-side to A-side for you.
I think she might have clocked onto this, though, because one nice fact about that video is she didn't want to be in it, but she said to Bono she would appear in it if they if they donated all the profits to the Chernobyl Children's Project charity, which provides assistance to children in remission from cancer and other ailments that resulted from the nuclear disaster.
Oh, wow.
So she was
That's
like,
nice
I'll
of her,
only be in
isn't
it if you make a charity thing out of it. And he was like, yeah,
And
all
he
right.
said, fuck you, no. And it's not, it's not a tribute to her
That's
anymore.
why she's not in the video. But to be honest, some artists wouldn't even bother with an apology. I mean, so you could even take a leaf out of Gary Barlow's book and say, whatever I said, whatever I did, didn't mean it.
I remember being a kid, hearing that song and going, that is not an apology.
Well, apparently...
Look, get over it. Whatever I said, whatever I did, I didn't mean it. Just, I want you back, all right?
It's like the apology, which is the same as, we can have sex, if you like. Don't have to, only joke.
Yeah, I'm joking.
Yeah, just joking, yeah.
It's the apology version of that, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it might not sound sincere, but it was good enough to get him to number one for 4 weeks, so...
There are a lot of films about memory loss.
Memento. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Oh, yeah, but that's not loss.
Voluntary
He pays to
memory loss.
get that removed.
Yeah, but he is lost because he wants it back.
Oh, yeah.
Total Recall.
Whatever I said, whatever I did, I didn't mean it.
The first one that sprang to mind was Memento for this one, but then I've seen it once and I reread the
And I
plot.
didn't remember it.
Basically, I was like, I can't fathom the plot from like reading about it anymore.
Is it Guy Pearce?
Yeah, it's
And
a Christopher Nolan
Trinity.
film. Yeah,
I loved that film when I saw it.
yeah,
I
liked it.
The thing is, it's shot backwards, isn't it?
yeah.
'Cause
It's
he's
black
got-
and white and then colour, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then they're different.
Well, he's
time
got a memory
passages.
condition, so they shoot it from his perspective, so you don't know what's happened either, and you find out as the film goes on.
Yeah. And so I just felt, can I explain this on the podcast? And I thought, no. It's very early Christopher Nolan, isn't it? And he's always playing with time, isn't he? To the point of Tenet, which makes absolutely fucking no sense.
Cypher from The Matrix is in it.
Is he? I know this isn't steak.
I think he might play. I don't know. I can't remember. I won't spoil it. It's a great film. So
He plays Ralphie in
Plays
Sopranos.
one of the Polaroids. He lived as a Polaroid for a year to prepare for the role.
So there's another famous one, The Bourne Identity, 2002.
Oh, yeah.
Directed by Doug Liman, based on the Robert Ludlum books.
Yes, I read those. I really enjoyed them at the time.
Yeah, I've never read them. Always fancied them though. So you'll probably know it's a classic action film. It kind of redefined action films. 2002 is a long time ago.
It made action films cool.
Yeah, they
Before
weren't.
that, they were like,
They weren't Arnie blowing shit up anymore. It was like fairly slight guy, Matt Damon, back then, doing like proper hand-to-hand combat stuff, and really good. It
wax on, wax off.
waxing his balls.
That's the bit in the Karate Kid that they didn't show you.
Yeah. So Matt Damon plays Jason Bourne. He's found adrift by fishermen with 2 gunshot wounds, and he's completely unaware of who he is. The line I say always remember. It's the line I think of. Don't really know it off by heart, but it's I can tell you license plate numbers of all 6 cars outside. I can tell you that our waitress is left-handed and the guy sitting at the counter weighs 215 pounds, who knows how to handle himself. I know the best place to look for a gun is the cab of the grey truck outside. And at this altitude, I can run flat out for half a mile before my hands start shaking. Now, why would I know that? How can I know that and not know who I am? It's a pretty sick line, isn't it? So he knows he knows he's hot shit, but doesn't know who he is.
Yeah.
So he spends the whole movie trying to work out who he is, essentially. And so I think this is what you should do: just piece together the night with people that know. He doesn't even know who he knows, so he's got a bigger problem than you. At least you know who your friends are, unless you completely back that.
You don't know who you don't know.
No.
But if you are Jason Bourne, it's a bit dangerous to do that, because don't they come and try and kill him?
Well, this is it. He actually finds out that he finds out who he is, and finds out he isn't who he is. Which is a bit which spawns a couple of sequels, which is quite good for him. But,
Yeah. It's good for Matt Damon's career. Yeah.
It is, yeah. But you're right. Yeah, he finds out some pretty shifty stuff. But actually, like, he saves not the world, but kind of the CIA, if you like, by bringing down Treadstone. What is Treadstone? He keeps going to everyone.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't fucking know, Matt Damon.
Why are you asking me? I'm just watching.
I also remember that I think it's in the second one. He speaks other languages. He goes, Pamela Landy bitter. Just always remember that.
That's what I remember from the books. There was I remember there being so much French in it, and that's one of the reasons I liked it, because I was a bit obsessed with French at the time. So I was like, I'm enjoying this, yeah, really good. So if you like
Remember
French, read this.
Do you remember when Liam used to walk around with a French stick all the time and a beret on?
Covered in garlic. Yeah, so piece together the night and like you say, like I did, I fathomed that my black spot was probably 40 minutes, and I was probably on a dance floor. I remember dropping the bride. And that's probably the worst thing I did, but she was all right. So
Yeah, she survived.
yeah,
That's all that matters.
yeah.
She's still in hospital, but she's fine.
She's still married, isn't she? Yeah.
Yeah, so we've basically got similar messages, haven't we? Me and you, Carl, we're piecing together the night and finding out what we did, and then after that you can follow that up with Liam's recommendation. If you didn't do anything bad, you haven't got anything to apologise for, but if you did, you can say, look, whatever I did, I didn't mean it, just forgive me, all right?
Or record a B-side
Get over it.
and then do a music video 11 years later
Yeah.
and donate the proceeds to charity.
Oh, end of the show.
Well, that is all we have time for today. Carl, not to put you on the spot too much, but
Yeah.
if you had to recommend one piece of art from today's show, what would you pick?
The Karate Kid series of films, apart from 4 with Hilary Swank, but the remake is good as well.
Mine is going to be something which wasn't even one of my pieces of art.
Doesn't
That
really work like
Lessons
that,
from the
does
Screenplay YouTube
okay.
channel.
Yeah,
I really would recommend that. That's really, really good.
I'm going to check that out.
You should.
I think I don't have a choice. Has to be Hamilton. If you haven't seen it,
Oh, for God's sake.
I highly
Greatest
recommend.
Showman.
Greatest Showman, yeah?
Yeah.
The Greatest Hamilton. Well, that's it then. So you can watch the entirety of the Karate Kid. You can also watch Aaron's YouTube channel, which isn't a book, and you can listen to the Hamilton soundtrack or go and watch it at the theatre. It's back now. Do it. Well, that's all we got time for today. Check the episode notes or agonyartpodcast.com to find links to all of the media we've mentioned today, and for a link to the Agony Art Spotify playlists where you can listen to all of the songs. And if you have a problem you'd like us to attempt to solve, you can reach us on our group Instagram and Twitter accounts, that's at Agony Art Podcast, or on the submissions page on our website. As always, I would like to send a big thanks to our resident Agony aunts for their contributions. Thank you, Aaron.
De nada.
Thank you, Carl.
Yeah, Peter.
And thank you, dear listener, for listening. We'll be back next week with more problems to muddle our way through and more entertainment for you to check out. We will see you then. Goodbye.
Bye. See you later, alligator.
Bye.
But I'd suggest keep it light, 'cause their advice can be shite, and they won't be held liable. Oh no, not at all, not here at Agony Art. Agony Art. Agony Art.
I saw a meme the other day that had a picture of an alligator and it said, alligators live for up to 100 years, which increases the chance that they will see you later.
I like that.